Welcome back to Dad Deals. One of the coolest things you can get for your shop is a laser engraver or cutter. And for the past few weeks, I've gotten to play around with the XTOOL D1 Pro, and I'm going to share with you the top things that I've been making with it. There are a ton of YouTube videos on laser engravers and cutters and things that you can make, but I'm really coming at this as a beginner. I had no experience with one of these machines before maybe a few weeks ago. So I hope this gives you an idea of what you can make right at the get-go. And all of this stuff I would consider very easy to make with one of these machines. All of the things I show in this video were made with the XTOOL Creative Space software. That's the free software that you get with one of these machines. And it doesn't require any extra cost for a license or anything like that. It's completely free and included with your machine. You can use software like Lightburn. And while that software is really powerful, I just find that it's almost too powerful and will take a really long time to learn all the ins and outs to it, which is something I probably will do in the future. But for right now, the XTOOL free software suits my needs just fine. And I also find it a little bit easier to use for beginners. I'll also be using the 20-watt laser module, so the settings could vary if you use the 10-watt or even the 40-watt that's available. All right, let's see what these machines can do. Definitely one of my favorite things to make with one of these machines is engraving tumblers. I'm talking things like Yeti tumblers, even the off-brand stuff, Stanley cups, all that kind of stuff you can engrave with this and make really professional permanent markings in those cups. To accomplish this, you do need the accessory, the rotary accessory, and XTOOL has the RA2, which I'll be using for this. I really like XTOOL's rotary. It has a chuck system instead of the rollers, which makes spinning the cup back and forth a little bit easier, and you can raise it up as you can see here. You see I have a dumbbell and I kind of can raise it up as much as I need to clear any handles that might be on the cups. One thing to keep in mind when doing cups and tumblers is to make sure you have the orientation of the rotary set up right. As you can see here, when I first started, I had it backwards, so my logo came out upside down and backwards and mirror image and all that stuff. I should have read the instructions a little bit more clear, as it tells you the exact orientation it needs to be. And since then, I have not made any mistakes. And now my tumbler is just a reminder to always check that before I start a project. But these engraved tumblers make excellent gifts, and I also used it to carve the initials of my kids into their water bottles. But yeah, in the past, I might have tried to add stickers or use a Cricut to put vinyl on them, but all that stuff does eventually peel off, where this is a permanent marking in a tumbler. Another great thing to engrave with your laser cutter are coasters. You can really do a ton of types of coasters. You can do cork ones, wood ones, slate ones, glass ones. But the two that I tried were the slate ones and the wooden ones. I really like the way the slate ones turned out. The engraving really pops on them, and they just look really cool. I ordered these slate coasters from Walmart for about $1 a piece, but I've seen where you can get it on other sites if you order in bulk for even cheaper. So these can make great gifts for your family or work, and I could even see these being super hot sellers at any craft fair. I also tried wooden coasters, and I just used a branch that had fallen down and cut it into a bunch of slices and just carved my logo into that, which was basically free for me if you have any trees in your area. And I could also see these being great gifts or great sellers if you have a business. These are quick and easy to use. You can use a template that I've seen some people use, but I just use the framing tool that's built into the D1 Pro and also available in that software that will outline your image to be engraved, so you can make sure everything's sized and angled right. And then you hit the button again and it starts engraving. One thing you'll want to keep in mind with these machines is fumes. The fumes can get intense and can be a lot. So you want to make sure that you're either in a place that's well ventilated. Like as you can see here, I'm in my garage, but even that isn't enough to really take out the fumes. So I'm using the XTOOL enclosure, which has a built-in fan that can suck out all the fumes into this black hose. But then from there, I'm using a Vevor fume extractor to blow out those fumes right out my garage door. The Vevor utility blower actually comes with a super long extension hose to even get it out further. But since I'm in a garage, I mainly just use the fan. It is really loud and only has one speed, but it definitely does the job. With this setup, I virtually smell no fumes and don't have to worry about it at all. I'll have a link to the Vevor blower in the description below, and you can also get an extra 5% off with my promo code, which I'll also include below. And speaking of that, you can also find a link to the XTOOL D1 Pro. They're actually having their 3rd anniversary sale right now. So if you use my link and promo code, which will be below, you can get a special discount. If you go to a store like Michael's or Hobby Lobby, They have a ton of items, wooden items that you can get that are perfect for engraving. I lucked out, and when I went to Hobby Lobby, they actually had 40% off all of their wood crafts. So I picked up a few, including this wooden frame that cost about $3, and was able to engrave an Outer Banks logo in it that I purchased off Etsy and make a really nice picture frame for a great vacation spot that my family likes to go to. But yeah, I was really impressed with the clean cuts that this thing made. One thing you'll want to do before you start engraving anything is try to have a test subject. So you can see here I used a piece of scrap wood and engraved just the word test and then marked down my settings so I knew which one would be the best. You can see the first one I did kind of burnt a little bit too much, so I lowered the power setting by 10% on the next one, and it was perfect. So not only can these machines engrave, they can also cut, and you can make some really cool wooden signs by cutting out the letters and putting them on and layering up different layers of wood. So as you can see here, I did the Dad Deals logo, gave it a little bit of a paint job, and I really love the way it turned out. And then one last thing I tried is these machines do come with a bunch of sample materials, and one of the sample materials that mine came with were these acrylic dog tags or keychains. So I decided to engrave my dog's name into it, and it was really quick and easy. With a machine like this, the possibilities are truly endless, and though it does come with a hefty price tag, I think you could easily make the price back on one of these machines if you decide to sell any of these items. I hope this video gave you some ideas of what these machines are capable of. And again, if you're interested in purchasing it, you can use my link in the description to get a special discount. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time on Dad Deals.